G'day, Peter Morse, Sage Ambassador from Down Under here. Package arrived via FedEx this week from Farbank, from Bainbridge Island. A couple of their new release reels. And these are the Shift reels that are replacing the Spectrums. There's the Shift LT, which is the premium model, and the basic Shift reel. These come in 4 different sizes. There's the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. This is the 5, 6 in the basic Shift, and this is the 7, 8 in the Shift LT. Now, what are the differences between them, and have there been any changes from the Spectrums? Cosmetically, yes, and I also know that the internal drag mechanism has been boosted and the waterproofing improved. It was already pretty good. I never had a problem with water ingress into the drag, and I do a lot of photography and break all the rules about dropping reels in the water, salt water and fresh water and so on. And I've never had a problem with water ingress into the drag hub. So the basic Shift has the pop-on, pop-off spool. You pop this off by pushing against the spool there. Off it comes, very tight. You can feel the suction as it comes off. And there's the drag hub. Now they all, for some reason, it must be a Northern Hemisphere thing, they all come left-hand wind, whereas anyone knows that real men wind right-handed, because down here we catch a lot of bigger fish and you want to wind with your dominant hand. But anyway, that aside, no, I'm only winding you up. No one get upset. Now, becoming left-handed, it's pretty easy to change to right-hand wind. Make sure you do this before you put the backing on, or your shop will know what to do. But if you're like me and you like to do this yourself, it's pretty easy. Just unscrew that cap, and then you will probably need to give this a tap on a soft surface, and the one-way bearing will plop out. Just turn it over and put it in the other way up. There is writing on one side and plain on the other, and that way you'll know that you've reversed it. Put the cap back on. Make sure the grease stays on there. Don't wipe the grease off. The grease is part of the waterproofing system. Now, when you put this spool back on, sometimes lining up the spool with the drag hub can be a little difficult. So what I'll do is tighten this drag. You rotate that and you'll feel it click, and then you can click it into place. Okay, and that's all it takes. Okay, so that's the drag knob has been changed. It's very well, in the lighter models it only goes from 1 to 10. It's very well knurled. This is not going to slip in your fingers. Let's just have a look at the drag on. Let's take it to let's go back to 1. Let's take it up to a 4 setting. I've crossed that over there. Yeah, 4 setting would probably be too much for most trout tippets. Okay, so that's there. That goes from 1 to 10 in half clicks. The drag is a quiet, and then on outgoing, just grab it, find it. Anyway, I'll wind it backwards. Much the same sound, okay? So that's that reel. The Shift LT, which is the premium model, and this is in a beautiful silvery blue colour, that's a bronze, I'm not sure of the colour range yet, has had a couple of changes. So it has a larger, this rather than the pop-off spool has a screw cap, and it does have a larger drag hub, again reversible. Okay, the drag bearing is reversible. One thing to note on all Sage reels, that every one has a unique serial number. Record that serial number. I had a reel pinched a few years ago, and through some detective work by friends of mine, I managed to track it down to a shop in Idaho, of all places, and because I had the serial number on the box that the reel came in, I managed to convince them that it was mine and get it back. So that's a really valuable thing to record, or at least keep the box the reel came in, because the serial number will be on there. Fit that back on. Now the reel, the drag in these goes from 1 to 20, has a lot more drag than the basic shift. Half clicks. You can't hear them. It's like clicking the adjustment on a telescopic sight in a rifle. It's that same quiet little click. The drag pretty similar. The drag sound, quiet click. I like that. I'm not one of those people who likes look at me reels that sound like a chainsaw. I like a quiet reel. My older Spectrum reels, the drag actually wore away and they were quiet. They were silent, and I love that. I have no problem with that whatsoever, but that's up to you. There is no counterbalance on this spool. You can see here, all they've done is thicken the rim up in order to counterbalance the weight of the handle, whereas the shift, the basic shift, has a counterbalance knob here. So all they've done is thicken up the spool frame here. The knob has been ported. It's attached by a screw, ported just to save a little bit of weight. The offset reel seat is a beauty. The drag, as I said, 1 to 20. A few cosmetic changes, a boosted drag system. Just a great reel, and this 7/8 size for me is just about perfect for a lot of light saltwater pelagic fishing. For bigger trout, I'd certainly use it on my trout spay rods. But things like bonito, small tuna, salmon, barramundi, bonefish, beautiful bonefish reel, lightweight, just superb. This reel has 250 meters of 50-pound fins braid on there. 250 meters of 50-pound braid is more than enough. If a fish looks like getting you taking all your backing, there's an awful lot of drag there you can tighten up on. It's got a hell of a lot of drag. I find that setting it on number 5 is about just right for all fishing, up to the point where you start to hook a big fish and you need to tighten your backing a bit. Okay, so 5 is a good setting. That just pulls line off without getting a backlash. So that's them. Shift LT and Shift. Lovely new reels. Can't wait to fish them.